little late. My big boy chores took just slightly longer than I had planned, but I am here. It's a little different setup than you might be used to. We are in my DM workshop, my basement, where I don't know if you would call it a man cave, but it's definitely a cave of some sort. It's all my nerdy stuff is down here. I'm sitting, you can probably see slightly behind me a little bit. My D&D table is right there, and that's part of what I'm going to be doing today. If you're normally here on the channel, you see that I do, I stream with my son a lot. We call him Plixel, my son Dylan. But my original, whoops, yeah, 33, I'm not that old anymore. My original conception for this channel was that it's going to, I wanted to stream D&D games. I wanted to stream live play, and we just had the worst time getting, I had my cameras set up so nice before. We just had the hardest time getting the cameras and everything working and set up for that to, you know, happen. But we've been having fun with our Nuzlocks and all of our other playthroughs, and I've done a few art streams, but for those of you who might follow me on other social media, I've kind of referenced it here on Twitch a little bit. I've been working on a graphic novel and a RPG book, and so part of that is we did a Kickstarter, got funded in the fall, but the trade is also that I did a lot of the artwork. I was able to buy some, which was very helpful, but I have done a lot of it too. Some of it has been transferring from sketchbooks to digital, and so that's what a lot of my art streams have been, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I have brought a myriad, oh god, they're about to fall, a myriad of sketchbooks that I'll be doing some of my, transferring my sketches over, but I've also got some stuff that I'm going to be working on here. So we're just going to be drawn for a few hours, talking. Feel free to chat. I don't know if I should put a question of the day or something out there. But, yeah, I love to talk D&D. I love to play D&D. And I love to draw. So I got a graphic novel and a D&D book coming out set in that universe. So, let's see. This is on my iPad Pro. I'm in the app Procreate right now. You can do a wide range of things. You see I kind of stick to cartoons, artwork, stuff like that. I've been drawing the comic book so much that I can't remember where I put the artwork for the RPG book. It's RPG. Ooh, yeah, the Tengu. I should probably honestly finish this, considering it is one of the book artworks. The background is that color because it's good to make something just sort of an off gray. I don't know why I made it so dark. It's very distracting. People like Plenty of Looks. I have a very cartoony, inked style to my artwork, so I'm working... Pardon. This video not sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Like, I prefer to do a lot of my lines in syrup, and then I'll color in Tinderbox, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So we're in Tinderbox. This is a character that is referenced both in the book and will appear in the graphic novel. His name is Akira. He is a Tengu, but he is also the leader of a crime group, but it's a crime group that works with the law more often than not. In terms of if there's any truly dangerous, shady business going on, they care just as much about the city as the law enforcement do. They just don't look at the rules the same way. Do crows have black tongues? This is one thing I really like about Procreate. You can see that I've got different palettes here, and like this one's marked like Samhain Hollow, which is the name of the city, town, I think it's technically a town, that the graphic novel takes place in. Character palettes so that I don't have to try and remember or like dip and pull whatever their color is. I just have it right here, and it's always going to look the same. I have ones that I'm like my standard shadow and like different kinds. Everything. I like it. You can organize it. My wife mentioned this is the most organized she's ever seen me, which I have to agree with. I myself am impressed that I've stuck to this. But for a lot of these one-off artworks, I'll generally find a palette I can work with and pull and, either saturate or not within that. This looks like a good Raven one. Untitled palette, perfect. Okay, so I feel like it's going to be too dark. No, it's not bad. I like Tinderbox because it feels very similar to watercolor, and I'm very bad at watercolor, but the magic of not okay. Let me rephrase that. It feels like a watercolor marker. There's a watercolor brush on this that honestly, if I got better practice with it, I think I'd be fine. But so that's one way I color it. Another way that I like to color it, if I'm feeling particularly time crunched, is I'll do the little lasso tool, and then I'll outline the arm. Those are going to be wires. Okay, and now it's done, and now I can do this, and it's pulled. Hello! It has pulled out that one part, and now I can just do these harsh lines that are totally going over it, but it's only going to color that one part. Now that looks horrible. But if I didn't have that isolated, it would just be scribbled all the way across all the paper. So I'm just going to click my back. And then I'm going to make it big, and then I like to lightly color across. I'm sure my son would just go nuts on this, but I like to do what I just did, like the isolate and the color for like bigger things that are intricate, like hands, arms that are twisted up on themselves, just because I am a dad and a husband, and right now, the precious time that I have to work on this project is I have to make it the most efficient. This is the most efficient way that I've found. And I'm learning day by day, but we're just doing some RPG artwork here for a gaming book that I'm working on. And we'll probably... Whoops, I can see that I screwed those lines up there. He's got rainbow wires. Is that... I know I didn't try to give him like a jewel. That would be such bad design. Yeah, we put an amethyst as your elbow. Pretty, but not efficient. I'm going to double up on some of the wire colors here. Okay. Here, we'll pop his name up here. Tengu. Just, it's approximately what he is if you were to use him in a game. Oh yeah, I know Tengu isn't an official race in the Wizards of the Coast books, but it is a race that we're including in our book, which is why I'm doing this artwork. And, you know what? I just did his whole body. Now, something else that I personally like to do is I make the clothes and the skin to start with on 2 different layers. Just because They're often intersecting with each other, and sometimes there's a slight margin for error depending on your line work. Now you can see my line work is a little more loosey-goosey. Man, actually, the whole theme of his clan is that they have a red crest, so I think that the smaller pieces of his outfit should be red themselves. Especially because he's missing the other arm. So yeah, we'll give him that. We'll make these other more, I don't want to say ornamental. Oh, is it underneath the skin? Perfect. And I'll go in and clean those up, but also these are all base colors, so there's about to be shadow dropped on a lot of these parts where the colors overlap. If it's still a problem, and that's why I have them on different layers, I can go in and erase where need be without having to backtrack like everything in my artwork. There's so many times where I'll use a color and I think that it's not the exact one that I matched it to, but eyes are just playing tricks on me. And ravens just have like black eyes, but that's not fun. We'll go with dark blue for now. Oh my goodness, that looks very striking. Oh, they got black tongues too, don't they? Do they have tongues? Do birds have tongues? Oh no, my magic information brick. It's upstairs. We'll figure it out. We'll fix it in post. They'll have white tongues for now. Now he's still supposed to be stealthy, so he wouldn't be wearing like a bright crimson. Could he do like a dark crimson? Still feel like that would stick out. I don't like it. We'll give it dark ornaments. Still on the clothes, yes. Damn it, see? That's why I like to do the lasso tool, because... And there's some people who have just totally mastered digital art from a very early age, but I was, what's the word, analog forever. So, and once I get Black Feathers Volume 1 done, I'm probably going to start doing a lot of my pencils, pardon me, on some of those comic book layout pages, or just comic book pages in general, because the scale is, it's going to be a little over. I'll erase it. And I can do things like this in digital art, because I feel personally like I have more control with pen and paper, analog, but where I don't have more control, they give me tools that allow me to make up for that, which I appreciate. That map looming behind me is the world map for our world that this whole RPG book would take place in. Oh shoot, you know what I just realized? That undershirt is got to be the color of this spot right here. So this is going to have to actually be a different color. I like that red around his neck, though. But it's still a little bright. Let's give him... Now this is small, so I'll just do it by hand. Ooh, yeah, I like that a lot. That kind of blood red. I might just double layer them again. Now, Tinderbox is tricky, and this is why I liken it to marker, watercolor marker, over just watercolor itself. Is that with watercolor, you know, if you press down hard, there's still only so much color that's going to saturate, just given the nature of watercolor. But with the watercolor marker, if you push down hard, it's eventually going to make that dark, thick, impenetrable color. And that's very much how Tinderbox works. At least at the default settings that I have it. Again, I'm learning Procreate. I know there's people who are like, I'm going to make a brush that looks like I have just painted a perfect Van Gogh art scene. And they do, and it looks amazing, and my brain explodes a little bit and leaks out of my ears. But that's okay. We're learning together. We'll add some lower. There we go. Let me just put a little bit, half as much saturation of that dark red on the arm. And this would then be the color of their trousers too. I know they're not called trousers when it's a gi. Or whatever. I don't think this is even a gi. It would be jodhpurs. I am not a fashion... Oh God, what have I done? Because they act like watercolor markers, it's very easy to get like a weird layering look if you overlap the lines wrong. Dark steel. Well, I wanted darker, but I guess that's fine. Almost white. I realize now, looking at this drawing, that this design makes no sense and that that little hook should be on the other side of the blade, but whatever, it's fine. It looks cool, right? Isn't that fantasy design? That's how I've done it for years. All right. Now I do want that kind of more natural crimson 4. Am I still underneath? Yeah, let me see how good this shows up. I'll start with that, but I'll probably put some more highlights. So the way that his clan works is they all have varying degrees of like red crests within their hair. Feathers. But if someone is born with a particularly vibrant frock, they consider it to be auspicious and that they may be a good leader. Sometimes this has led them down bad paths, but in Akira's sense, as I had mentioned earlier when I started drawing this, he's actually a very good leader who takes care of his people and is willing to work with the authorities, despite him being an assassin and part of a crime family. The city that the crime family works in is very different, though. Like, you'll have to read the book to find out. Hello, yay, art stream. Did I put this on its own layer? Yes, good, I did. His beak needs to be longer, but that's okay. Whatever. People won't think about it, only me. This is something that's always interesting for me to think about when I'm looking at these winged characters is, like, when I was drawing them, he has 6 arms. They have 6 appendages. They're like an insect. Like Angel from the X-Men, 6. Those wings aren't like, that's an appendage, you know? But when I was drawing them, it just felt so... Whoops. No, that's metal. I like how this looks. It's weird to me. No one ever says anything to him. I know that back line looks a little flubby, but I promise we'll fix it. Yeah, I already had the idea here. So that's where I want the... So I'm just using syrup at half, what is this, opacity. You know, hitting it with the thicker line and then a slightly thinner line to give it that sheen. Oh god, it looks horrible. There we go. And then I'm going to do another layer behind it where I drop like the hard metal shadow. That. Ooh, too big. No! Better? Trying to make it look like I'm just trying to blend so many styles and I need to stop. So much of like how I originally learned to draw was just copying like 90s comics, 90s and 80s comic books. And then by the time I thought that I had learned all that I could learn from American comics, I was so wrong. I moved to manga and then I really got into the style and then I got back into American comics at one point. Pardon. Oh, ravens have so many colors in their feathers. They get that purple though. Dark kind of violet. Anyway, and I really started to draw from bone, which is one of my absolute favorites. Hold on, I'm still on syrup. And my line work started to I look just like Jeff Smith's artwork. That ain't what I'm saying, man. But for real though, Jeff Smith, if you're watching, you're a huge inspiration. I would love to shake your hand someday. But I tried to emulate Jeff Smith's line work. And I'm trying to learn where that fine detail of, you know, he has like, he's very efficient. Oh, I see, I didn't do anything with the wings. I just colored them in like a monster. Why do these wings look so weird? Because like the line work's messy and part of it is, it's not that I don't care, it's just that the coloring itself and the sheen that I'm going to put on it is going to cover up a lot of the quote-unquote mistakes. And also, it's going to be like, you know, this big in a book. And I don't need to draw every strand of hair It's more of the implication, and our brain and eyes are smart enough. Oh, I see. I moved him. And I just missed a lot. Alright. Oh, his face needs some. Take this on your stupid face. Oh god, it's too bright. Why are his... That's weird. So what I'm going to do now is normally I'd keep like layering this same purple on to give like the depths and the, you know, the concavedness of the skin. But instead, because ravens tend to have a little bit more of a dark rainbow plumage, I don't know how else to... Probably screwing that up a bit. It's crows, but who cares? Aviarians, that's who. I don't know if that's what you call people who study birds. But it sounded pretty sure, right? Did I give myself another... No, I'm actually going to go one layer under that. And just color this whole thing with that blue. Very light. I'm at like, what, 21%? I think I was just on that color. They sometimes have, like... I don't know how many of you guys go and just collect raven feathers, but they're pretty much exclusively the only bird feather that I will pick up unless, like, I literally see, oh, a bald eagle, and there's a feather. Like, that's cool, but, you know, for the most part, it's seagulls and pigeons and sparrows, and sparrows are cute, but I like raven and crow feathers. Blue jays and cardinals, those are very pretty, but the cardinal ones are hard to find. I wonder if they don't molt as much. Just talking about bird feathers. Speaking of bird feathers, let's just see. Now I can just take this color that I like for the dark shadows and just make his whole tail that. Ooh, yeah. That's that raven color. I did it. I did it! I won the game. Yeah, actually I like that so much that... Am I on the bottom one? Alright, I'm going to go down here and I'm actually going to hit too low. I'm going to hit these wings with some of that purple right now. For so long growing up, I was like, ravens and crows are black, and then, you know, we always associate them with death, and they're gross because they eat things that are dead. Which is like, right, like, don't kiss a crow right after it ate roadkill, but, like, you watch TikTok, there's enough people who are like, look, I just befriended this crow yesterday. I don't know what to do now. And it, like, brings them stuff, and, you know, there's been stories ad nauseum. I just bring TikTok up because you can just, it's happening approximately now. It's not some, well, my cousin's friend's brother from New York told me. Oh god, what have I done? Go back to the disc. Oh, I switched palettes. It's fine. I know what color I want. I want a red. I want it to be kind of... Well, I wanted a brown, but I wanted it to be kind of ruddy. Now, I know that in the overall design, would he probably have a black belt? Probably, if he's wearing the, like, his clan's form, but I like to give, like, these one-off... I mean, obviously he's got a metal arm, so that's not totally normal, but I like to give one-off things that's like, oh, that belt looks like it doesn't go with them in the character designs, because I feel like when you're reading the books, they're always wearing like a put-together equipment set, or like I'm wearing, you know, just like a wizard robe, and I want to put my characters in things that look like adventuring gear, that they're like, oh yes, I'll put on this belt of whatever, of dwarven strength. It's giant strength, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Just to kind of make him stand out, you know, even though it doesn't go with his outfit, he's going to wear it because of the bonuses that it gets, and I feel every PC can relate to that. Getting hungry. Pardon while I do the tradition of the OTL Rook stream and eat while streaming. A year from now, it's just going to be mukbangs. Alright, so I feel pretty good about those base colors. That handle needs to be colored in. And I don't know what it is, but this is like, whenever I see katanas, you know, because when you go places, katanas are everywhere. But when I do see them, when you're as nerdy as I am, the places you go, for some reason, I don't know, you have swords more often than not, but whenever I see that, like, royal blue, it, ooh. And then they do this. Oh man, I know why. Do you want to know where I went to college? Alright. Let's have some fun with this. Ziggity zag. Looks just like the ones that you get at carnivals, doesn't it? Too bright. It's metal. It's got to be, I don't know, metallic. I mean, I can add sheen, but there's a definite, like, canary yellow, that quality that metal doesn't achieve. I don't want that. I want it to look bronze, or like a weird sheened iron or something. Yes, I love it. Alright. Alright, background color. You can be white again. Shadows. Shadows. Shadows, and then details. So, I think I saw this on Pinterest. They were saying that for them, they use shadows to where don't use pure black. They use like a purple, and then you layer it. I kind of play within the purple. Indigo is kind of my happy spot, because with certain skin tones or colors, the purple looks really like otherworldly. And in like a fantasy book, that's fine, unless you're doing like, you know, like a human with a more caramel skin tone. It's like, it just, it's interesting, and it's because it's more about like how our eye perceives the light. Obviously, light's not hitting people's faces differently. And it's just like the slightest like degree. Yeah, let me see here. Where is that? Up top. Boop, boop. Yeah, I'm trying to show off by not zooming in too much, but I should be right in here, because look at all these mistakes I'm making trying to be a hotshot. Yeah, see, like with black, I shouldn't be using this purple. It doesn't look right. So I'm gonna do everything but the shirt, because, see, the purple looks great on the red. It's gonna look great on, like, the gray. It looks fine on this gray, because I think that gray is like a purple base. All of this should be in shadow. Now, I like my artwork to have a slightly more animation quality to the color. There's plenty of people who soften everything out. They make it look like an airbrush. There's people like Alex Ross who are just masters at everything. But I like to have that very two-tone I hope the purple looks good on the purple guy. Actually, I am going to add shadow to the eye. I'm just not going to add that color shadow to the eye, so I don't want to pull me away from what I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah, see, like, the details in the wings don't even matter because they're going to be hit with shadow and a little bit of light to where some feathers are pulled out. And all the other visual noise that was there before we dropped all this color in is just going to kind of lend itself to the busyness of there's a lot of feathers that are there. Are there some people who will draw all the feathers completely biologically perfect? Yes, absolutely. 100% more credit to them. I'm not that guy. So, as I'm wondering what shadow color I should use, how about I just take the color and then drop it into shadow. Alright. Oh, I was coloring with syrup. Oh, damn it. No, 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 no. Oh, no. I was about to flub something up. We'll just do the shadow first, okay? Nope. Everybody just calm down, TJ. I guess, I don't know why the wires wouldn't be in shadow. That just makes sense. That arm is an obvious homage to Dragon Ball. And we're just going to shade all of those lower fingers in. Oh, much better, love. I love it. You're beautiful. All right, now this black, though. Alright, now we'll do some details. And they'll be over the clothes, but underneath the feather shadows. Now, if I were doing like a comic book character design, I would never go to this much detail, because a lot of, especially when people are trying to keep animation in mind, because, geez, the dream would be if we got picked up for a cartoon. But the idea is, if you're going to be drawing something over and over and over again, the less detailed, the better, because there's more of a chance to screw up a detail, forget something. If you don't draw, you just get tired of drawing them. So, I'm adding the fine detail just because this is going to be a one-off static thing. When he shows up in the Black Feathers graphic novel, he'll have a much more simplified design. All of the details that I'm adding probably won't be there. Now, this base design, yeah, 100%. I could draw this regularly right now, but as I'm starting to add, like, little clothing, like embroidery and stuff, no, sis. No way. Not today. Let's see if this... Oh. Stitched with the blood of their enemies. No, that would not be very economic. Now, what I do want, though, is a little too crimson, but on this black... Just realized there's no back flap, but that's fine. We'll fix it. Went a little heavy on the shadow work there. Okay, so, see how much this screws everything up. Don't like it! Let's see if we make it a little darker. Like it slightly more? Yeah, that'll be it. And imagine that white contrasts black really well. I know all these little details may seem superfluous, But it's like when you pull out and it all comes together to make an overall look. So now I'm in the zone. What am I? Am I on top of everything? No, not yet. Oof. All right, I need to know. Hello. Hey, do you guys know if ravens have black tongues or not? I don't want to give them a big old pink tongue, just like blah blah, blah sticking out there. I'm gonna give them a black tongue, like a black, purpley tongue, because I feel that's still within the realm of red. Just because they have blood pumping through them, so they don't have scales. Like if you, yeah, that looks right. Oh God, I'm on the wrong layer. I see. So tongue and tongue. Now I'm gonna make, nope, I want purple. That beak just a little bit darker. Ah, I tricked myself. Now we're gonna pull here and reduce it a little bit. Boom, that's what I wanted. And this is where we'll use the, oh, wait, I'm gonna color that a little bit more. This is where I'm gonna use that light pen now. Up here. Didn't like that. Oh, the sword. That should probably look shiny, like a sword, yeah? I'm gonna do here. We're gonna add. I know that's not how shine works. Oh no, that purple. Where did that purple come from? Nope. Nope. There we go. Nope. Tinderbox. Got it. There we go. All right. Where did I write Akira Tengu Assassin? On a layer that it shouldn't be. Cool, so I'm going to remove my background so that I can... Oh, I did not do that, though. Hold on. I always forget something. Okay. Syrup. Half. Where are those highlights? His legs need to have some light on them. Yeah, I hate to say it, Purple Lines, but You're not needed. What is needed are white lines, though. Oh, that's not how beaks work. That's why this doesn't look right. I gave him like a Alright, we'll bring that down. Bring that up. So that means that I flubbed it. That's what didn't look right. Oh my God, what are you doing to me? Alright. Something else you can do in digital art that you can't do in analog. Okay. Oh, we need this all the way up now. Hold on, I bet I can make this more extreme if I need to. Extreme! Let's see. Beak is in some of the beak coloring. Oh, shit. Pardon my French. More. There we go. Oh, see, that's what happens when you try to use a different type of pen to color. Why is it doing that? Ah! Here we go. Oh, Lord, no. I'm gonna go get a Dr. Pepper. Jeezel Pete's. I'm calling it good though. We're gonna say that he's good. I used to have a Be Right Back little dude that I kept around here somewhere. Oh, there's so many. I've got some artwork I really want to draw off that I found from my notebooks though. So what are we at? 12:30. Plenty of time. Where's my welcome slime? There we go. I'm going to go get something to eat after that, and then I'll get to the next stream thing. I'm back with my Meowth hat because. All right, so what is this? It's a Fearbolg Artificer. Clearly, I wasn't taking the line work very seriously, but just goofing around on that one. Let's see here. So in terms of artwork options, I've got my Book of Tricksters, which has to do with black feathers more than anything. These are more reference photos for me. Not photos, reference sketches for characters. Most of their color palette is just within the Procreate and the book itself. I didn't do one of those like animation model sheets, which I know you should if we ever get a cartoon. But right now I'm fine. I got one that says just Black Feathers art, but I know for a fact there's more than Black Feathers art in there. Rune of Villains and NPCs. This is a real good one. Ooh. No, I got one that's mostly monsters, I think. Where did that go? Here we go. Questing Beasts, is this it? It is! Alright. I should these are all the ones that I... Yeah, it's even got like the Into the Runeverse cover art. That I need to fix because I realized it looks a lot like the D&D cover art and I didn't realize it until way after. I'll figure it out. So, I got these little things called crawling pustules. Doesn't that sound great? One of those. Should we draw that? Let's draw that. Alright, so I believe I can just import the picture right here onto Procreate. I usually have the picture on my phone first. I did it again. RPG artwork. Oh, that just looks so good. I think I worked on the Nekomata last time. Could I put more detail into it? Yeah. Will I? Probably not. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta make a new canvas. Square. I'm gonna go here, add, insert a photo. Oh, I can't just take them? Poopy. Nope. Camera! Oh, God. That, you know what, we're going to take a picture of this guy too. Boop. And then this, I really want to do this big boy today. Oh! Hello. I'm using my camera to take pictures of things that I want to draw. Where did it? Oh, that's the Baku. I already did him. It's a lady. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't need to get too ambitious. Photography stream. Yeah, I call the holding your enormous iPad up like this the what are you doing technique. See, there's all the photos that I just took. We're gonna do this guy, gal, thing. How dare I gender it? Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Today we're drawing a gross thing that I drew while I was waiting in line for something. I don't remember where or when. What I like to do is go to the dollar store and just get those little like pads of just little scrap paper, like, you know, 100 sheets for $1, and I just keep that in my pocket. So especially for the RPG artwork that I've been working on, what I do is I sketch it first, because that helps me feel it out, and then I'll go to Canvas and put Animation Assist in, and now it gives me a nice, I can slide between layers, and it's already kind of softened a little bit for me. Now, the reason I like to sketch it out first is because the time saved once I get to the digital phase is enormous. Because most of the work, honestly, is done, and I will never truly equate inking to tracing. This is on an iPad Pro. Normally, because I have them synced with my phone, those pictures, I wouldn't have had to take them. I would have just had them in my photo stream. But I, go to this, I tell it to add a picture. I can add text. I do that for my comic books. I'll show some of those comic book pages in a minute. And then I'm adding a layer, which is over here on your right-hand side. Then on the left, if you go to Canvas, Animation Assist is what's giving me that. It puts like a light tracer film between each layer. And normally it's for animation. It's what I made that little guy down at the bottom of the screen using it with Procreate. But once I get to the inking phase, which is where I'm at, I pretty much get to pick the color of the ink that I want, which I never like to go totally India ink black, just because I feel my style lends to softer colors, even if it's like this like masked pimple thing. My favorite line for inking is called Syrup. And now these are all monsters that are going to show up in the RPG book that I'm working on. I'm actually glad I opened this because I forgot to make this guy's stat block. Or gal. Sorry I don't have any jams going, guys. I want to find something that's not copyright claimed. Did I give it eyelashes? But why? For why did I do that? I'm using Twitch soundtrack. It's in beta in a huge library. I will have to do that. Because I will jam out to pretty much anything. Did they go bad? Oh no, my bread went bad. Well, that's upsetting. No, I believe it. Emily, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but I love it anyway. Yeah, we're gonna make it like a gross red line. I'm gonna fill it with like, oh, that's definitely infected. Like, that's what I want it to look at. Mr. OTL Rook. I was, though. That's true. Whoops. Drawn over the lines. Yeah, I don't care. So when I had my line work like this, so what are we looking at here? A face hugger with a face. Kind of, it started as, I have a lot of masks. I do a kind of theater where the characters all wear very defined masks. And so sometimes I do a lot of masked, just sketches in general. Pardon. But if kind of left to my own devices, or if I'm, you know, waiting in line too long, I start to draw like scary things, like monsters. And this was kind of my... I was designing what I wanted to be sort of like... Because a lot of the stuff that I'm drawing for this RPG is also appearing in the graphic novel that I'm working on, because they take place in the same universe. And so I wanted to think of something that the characters, both at the table and in the book, would have like kind of a horrific interaction with at first. Very scary, especially if they're low level, and then it's more of like a problem at first, and I think, yeah, it infects like bodies or something. I think it's just slightly more body horror gross than face huggers, though face huggers are disgusting. I think this like grows on like a piece of us. Like a dead piece of us. I mean, they asked. I guess I hadn't really thought exactly what it is. I just thought a gross like pimple with like a blackhead that's a cracked mask that skitters around like a spider. That's the design. I wish I'll define it more. You succeeded at that. Thank you. Man, you know, now that I'm looking at this, oh god, I'm trying to think of there was definitely like a horror movie that I was watching where it had a creature who made like the tick sounds as it crawled across the floor and everything. And it was small. Maybe it was The Thing. Was I watching the OG Thing? That would make sense. I do love that movie. I even like the new one. Like, did I think it got a little too CGI when it should have been more practical? For sure. But some of the visuals that they pulled off were still like, whoa. Reminds me of Ko, the face. Yeah, for sure. That very... I want it to feel almost human. I know there's a term for it, but... When I was younger, I got this how to draw manga book, and it was horror. And it was like, just make it look almost normal. That's where horror lies, is in that. I know we often use the word uncanny valley, but I think it's technically different. Okay, great, so now we got our lines. So much easier than having to sketch everything out as well. Alright, now let's get that gross skin color. It's gonna be somewhere, like... all like the very pale white people are like, excuse me? Like, don't worry, it's a base coat. We're gonna throw some reds and pinks on there, but we have to look. Yeah, it's gotta be that like pimply, pussy pink. And now that I actually have my baselines down, I don't need animation assist anymore. Yeah, with that red outline, it makes what would normally be just like a person with a more pink skin tone. That red outline makes it feel like stretched, and that there's just a lot more pink red stuff underneath. Oh, see, this is why. 'Cause I'm getting fast and loose over here. Might have to do with the fact that I've only had like caffeine and bread so far today. And I don't know if anybody saw the Tengu that I had just been working on, but I had mentioned that there's some things where some lines may not be 100% perfect. I'm not letting it destroy pancakes and Red Bull. Breakfast of Champions. That's how you seize the day. Whoops. Again, digital art, love it. I can just do this instead of hating myself. I'm gonna make the mask on its own layer. See, the real question is, what color is the mask? I feel like it should also almost be like a... Ugh, no, I hate that. I hate it. Like a yellow, like a weird... Oh, God, it looks like an egg yolk. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Because within the comic, there are characters that are introduced towards the end in, like, an epilogue that have, like, this yellow golden face. Oh, God, is this, like, what they started as? Yes, we're doing it. It's canon. You saw it first here. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's good. And then we'll just go very dark, not totally black. Because I want some room for shadows in there. Yeah, and again, I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I am an old, so for me it's easier to hand draw it and then transport it over to Procreate. I watch plenty of people on YouTube who just figure it out on Procreate. I am not one of those people. Lore people, it's lore. May it be wrote in the history books for all to know. Man, and that'll be fun, because it'll kind of like... My goal would be for some point for these to be two very integrated worlds, to where it's like people reading the graphic novel kind of know things that are coming up just by something that is talked about, like, oh, there's a creature that's being spotted as so-and-so, and people who play the game are like, oh god, I know what that is, because they talk about that in the book, whereas people in the graphic novel might be like, whoa, what's going on? But if you're reading both, you know you're in the know. Whereas elsewise, people playing the game may not have read the lore that might be introduced in the graphic novel, and so unless you're the DM, you get to surprise your players. It's just part of the fun. And damn it, if you're a good player, don't spoil it for everybody else. That is the pus. I was kind of thinking that it might... I like the idea of a hard porcelain mask, but then the more I thought about it, I kind of want it to be maybe a little squishy. I think when they die, they might pop. That looks so disgusting. Now, something else that's nice about Tinderbox is because it's just a little see-through. Oh, yeah. Gross. I can add this kind of red core. Yeah. I really like gross enemies. It's... Like, don't get me wrong, there's always something fun about, an enemy that you can, like, talk to and reason with, or, like, have witty banter, but... Or if you have that, like, oh, I don't know if they're an enemy or good, or should I actually fight them and kill them? Like, I'm a fan of... Sometimes when something walks in the room, everybody just unequivocally goes, kill it, burn it with fire. I don't even have to question. Bad. Smash it. And not because it's just easy writing. Oh god, is that too much? to like it. Because if you just see one of these and it's like, you know, this big, like a Chihuahua size thing, but it can like run up walls and stuff, you know. They just like zip across the room and you've seen that it's just killed somebody. Whoa, that's scary for a low-level party. You can die by like falling on your sword, tripping in the shower. Like that'll kill a level 1 person. But then later on, you know, everyone's first reaction to the flood in Halo. Yep, exactly. It's just give them the whole 9 yards. Which refers to ammunition. Oh, it's too much. It needs to be like just, yeah, there we go. Like the color scheme I wanted it to look like was from the, I know it has an official name, the this guy from Pan's Labyrinth, that kind of sickly, he's a little more on like the powdered white side. I wanted this to be more on the infected skin side. Because the nails of this thing at the bottom are going to be that red that kind of disintegrate up into the pink once we get down to it. You know, these fit in with one of the kind of minor deities? I don't know if you'd call it that, but a creature of godlike power within the world that is discussed in the book. They deal with a lot of, like, growths. Not obviously a favorable person to associate yourself with. I don't know if anybody here plays D&D or reads comics, but it's yellow. Let's make, okay, all right, Derry, all right, okay. Let's see what we got here. Go on top of this. Oh, that's far too light, darling. There we go. Ooh. I got to imagine they're still on YouTube. There's some videos of the author of Bone, Jeff Smith, just like the camera's right on his page and you watch him like ink panels. It's one of the most mesmerizing things in the frickin' world, but he does everything with a brush, which is amazing and yet also very aggravating at the same time, just to watch somebody go, yeah, I'm just gonna ink a crocodile and the words that he's saying with my brush pen. Yeah, no, by hand. No, no erasers. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. Damn it. That needs to be darker, because right now it just looks like it's muddying it as up. Here we go. Yeah, because I want it to look kind of like those Venetian Carnival masks. Nope. Well, we'll make the cheeks darker, darling. You know, and it's funny, the name of the creature that I was just talking about earlier, that this thing could be like the primordial, like baby form of, oh, chibi, they're called nesters, but that literally means like guardian, Nestor, not like to nest, but to watch over something. But it's also like a play on words if the whole creature is about like being parasitic and feeding off of other things. I love it. Send it to print. Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah, the buddy of mine who helped me kind of create this world growing up. Throughout the years, you know, I'd come to him with a problem and we'd work it out together because he knew the overall ideas that are being passed around. I would always try and find enemies, because he read a lot, but I was always trying to find enemies that would make him go, that's gross. But I want more. Like, it doesn't draw me away, it makes me want them to have to deal with it. I want a symbol on it. Not a symbol, a design. Let's do... Oh god. Okay, it's on its own layer. Alright. Thought I was about to mess everything up. Alright. Oh no. Man, honestly, I kinda like how it looks right now. Could use a little bit more shadow underneath, but what is it? You know what I am going to do, just because I'm not feeling, you know, I'm just not feeling quite grossed out enough. Let's pick, like, a cute pink, unless you see it, like, growing on you. We're just gonna make these dots nice and pink. I like the texture to it. Exactly. Oh yeah, he was a lifesaver when I couldn't figure something out. Instead of me focusing on it for, you know, 3 weeks straight. Right now, little bit of yellow. Make this bigger. Don't like it. No, go back. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Kill it with fire. Okay. I don't like it. Oh, there it is. And now I just have to kind of mix it up with the red. Oh god, I hate it. I hate it. Give me more. Let's give you some highlights there, kid. We're gonna make you a star, kid. Da, 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 da. There it is. Whatever we're calling it. I hate it. Perfect. Exactly. That, honestly, that is when I know I'm done designing my monster, is when I go, I hate it. Perfect. Oh, good. All right. Oh, that feels so good to finish. Okay. Now, before I continue, if you guys are going to stick around, I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you for coming. Also, I'm running up to the bathroom real quick. I'm going to put my little slime. Where was he? I just used him. My little be right back slime. Oh, I already uploaded it right there. Okay. I will be right back. I need to run upstairs. He's my welcome slime. Comic book page. So I've yet to reorganize it because I've been moving things around. See, I got Stacks, Black Feathers Volume 1, Black Feathers Volume 2. I think there might even be one that's, yeah, Demon Fight, Forest Fight. I have a lot of content that are, I've got about 1.5 to maybe more than a half of content to work with right now. Let me show you one of the more finished pages. So, I mean, these ones are definitely done. Let me find one that I'm more working on here. This is one that's more or less finished. Alright, so here's the comic book page. Those words I typed right here on my iPad. You can import a text from your Google Drive if it's ripped. So there's plenty of places you can look online that have free for commercial use. If you're not doing it for commercial use and just for fun, you use whatever text you want, I guess. But Rip Slime, I'm sorry. Did you want to see the slime again? He'll be back. I promise. Look, I'm a Dragon Quest nerd. Like, that's probably my favorite RPG franchise. Slimes are my favorite type of monster. I love slimes. But the slimes aren't dead. Look at them. I mean, really, look at the whole page. They're just discombobulated. But pardon as I can continue the eating. This is early in the book, but I just wanted to establish that there is fighting, there are monsters, and the main character is capable. And so slimes are like, I hate the trope of giant rats or giant spiders or giant animal as like the first monster. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming together. I have I wrote so much, and then I penciled it all out, and I had like 300 something pages, and I thought, okay, maybe I need to pull back a little bit for volume 1, dude. So that's why it kind of looks hairy, jarred all over the place right now, because I've been like pulling and yanking and shifting stuff. But this is all me, one person. Hold on, let me find the page again, because the point was with the text. Just like I added a photo, I can go to add text, and then there's text right there. Now it's on Jack Armstrong, which is the text I use, because that's just the default. Every time you use like a new text on a page, for that particular artwork, it's going to remember that text for the next time you try to start a text, because the people who designed this more or less had the idea that a lot of people are trying to use it for comic books. I'm sure there's other reasons, but I mean, come on. And I'm going to delete that because I don't want it, but go on with you now. You can go to edit text. And I actually want to make this 12. I just want it to be a little bit bigger. Sheesh. Can't believe I just did that. All right, 14. That looks good. Now, that is big. There's a lot of people, especially for American comics, that'll tell you that your text size should be a lot smaller, like 7 to 8. And while that does work for a lot of comics, I've seen that especially in manga or comics directed towards younger audiences. Again, this isn't for little kids, but I want my son, who is 12, to be able to read it, and his friends. And I started reading Bone when I was 9. There's violence in that, so I was reading Wolverine before that, so let's be honest. But you can set each block of text as its own layer, which can be... Here, let me find a page that's got a lot of talking. Oh no. Spoilers for page 3. Here we go. You can always tell when it's an exposition page. But see, all of those texts are each one of these different word bubbles. Oh, I mean, please, by all, look. And now, I'm looking... I put this all here, and again, this is part of the editing process of, because this is so easily edited, I've told myself there's about 1 or 2 other places within the first 2 chapters where this particular information can be imparted. But I needed to get it all out now so I know exactly what I'm trying to say. Because really, I'd like for half of the amount of bubbles to be here, but I need to know what I'm trying to say before I know where I'm trying to say it sometimes with my very hairy-carry process. Let me see. Yeah, so I will actually... I'll show you spoilers for some Volume 2 stuff. Hold on. Oh, man, and that edit will make those pages so important. Okay. Yeah, this isn't giving anything away. So this is on Animation Assist because that's how I start everything, but, oh, Jesus. Okay. So, oh, that doesn't look too bad on the screen. Leaked. It just looks like a bunch of scribbles. Yes. Stream exclusive, yeah. I'll bet all of my backers are going to be very upset about that, but you know, it is what it is. That's fine. They're getting all of Chapter 1 in like 2 weeks, which is like 40-something pages. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway. So all of my pages will start like, does this have the... No. Okay. So all of my pages will start like this. I saw somebody. Well, I'm a backer, so well. See, you're fine. You get extra happiness. So Emily, you're getting the double dip. But all of my pages will start like this. And I do what is what is that one? Is that a little devil? I love it. It's a book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It's a very old art book from like the 70s or 80s, maybe even the 90s, but it's by Stan Lee and John Buscema. I never say it correctly. But like the art style of Marvel, like the guy who helped design and come up with a lot of the OG characters. But they made a book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, and they show you draw the stick skeletons. You can kind of see me doing that with Finton's arm over here on the bottom left. But something they talk about, and this is very much how I think it's because I'm ADHD, but for what I'm sure there's other reasons too. But it's called a scribble. What do they call it? Scribble sketching? I gotta find the book. But they basically you scribble. Everything's just a little kind of continuous line, and it goes with you. And the nice part about digital is I can even backtrack that. If I pull up and I go somewhere I don't like, I can go back, or erasing is super easy. But that is how I get a lot of the ideas out, and I feel them out, especially because like I said, my ideas don't flow as well on digital directly as they do when I have physical paper in front of me. But I'll sketch everything out. That skeleton I kind of just freehanded, but the whole idea was I tried to draw the skeleton first, but the spear is, you can see it right here. I just took a spear and then I traced it, and then when I go over on, where is it? There's another layer of... So then you can see I got another layer of pencils happening here, and this is where I'm fine-tuning things out, and so any details that I don't like from this rough kind of vomit sketch, I fine-tune or I change when I get to the fine-tuned pencils, and those can even be further changed once I get to the ink. But yeah, I drew, especially when I'm like trying to trace something to get like accuracy, like if I have a picture of myself with a sword or a dagger, and I'm like, I could look at it, and it's like, nope, I literally just, DJ, just trace it. It's, you know, people have been doing that for frickin' ever. So, and then once you eventually train yourself enough, you can start to freehand things, but this will look slightly more Celtic. I just couldn't find any... It was the ratio that I liked. I liked the spearhead to like the staff ratio, and so yeah, there's gonna most of like the names and the sort of ornamentation and the rough mythology of the world is based around, inspired by Celtic, because world myth is kind of the centerpiece, the inspiration for everything. But I wanted to have a slightly more Celtic design, but it should also look magical and special, but I don't want it to look like a Dynasty Warriors weapon. So I'll figure it out. Honestly, the spear is probably the one thing that I'm going to fuss and fret about, and then I'll make it look like the most basic spear ever, and people will be like, I love it! Because that's how we are. I love the basic designs too. Celtic weapon designs were very streamlined and very... Their spears, great at killing people. Like, stab, in, out, bam. Next dude. I've got a 4 foot longer reach than I did before. And the particular character that the guy on the very bottom right is based off of fought with 2 spears in Celtic myth. Not based off of, inspired by. I need to phrase that better. I'm trying to find like a slightly more... Where's one that I'm working on directly that I can ink on that's... I hope I'm not giving anything away by saying that the main character doesn't die in the middle of the first book. So if we draw this action panel of them avoiding an attack. I hope nobody freaks out. 11 is pretty big for me. I prefer to stick around the, like, 7 to 8 for my thicker lines. I should hope not. Dude, Game of Thrones pissed me the fuck off after Season 1. I was like, nope. Pardon my French, I know we're PG for like 90% of our streams, but that first season was like, why am I even watching this stupid show? Oh, to watch the rest of their family die. Not all of them. Alright, I think that's good, yeah. I can feel that out. So, in this particular scene, the main character, Finton, is avoiding... He's been stalked by this monster for the last, like, page and a half, as he's kind of, like, talking with himself and a little friend that he found in the forest. As this thing's been, you know, silently going behind them, they don't see it anywhere. And then it's about to, you know, it's setting it up. Obviously, he's not going to get eaten, but it's like that very Looney Tunes, 90s action comedy of the turnaround, and it's not there, and they're in danger, but we as the audience know very well that they'll be fine. And so that's what this page more or less represents. But I'm starting to get into it. I lost it for a while. One of my favorite artists is Yasuhiro Naitao, the artist of Trigun. I probably said that wrong. But he is very, very experimental with, like, his panel layout and just the kind of rush of battle that he conveys. It's so good. And not to shit on the anime, because plenty of people love it. Dylan loves it. I respect it and love it still, even though after reading the manga, I feel very cheated for not getting that. Now, I understand it's because the anime caught up to the manga or something, but still, whatever. It's fine. No hard feelings. But the voice acting for the English Trigun is, and I hope I don't get any shade for this, I think it's way better than the Japanese one. And the soundtrack is like, for the time that Trigun came out, it was, I don't want to say it wasn't revolutionary, but it was very much like, there were plenty of other anime that came out that had plenty of great or even better stuff, but it was like, you could tell that they cared about it. Like, the music had a lot of thought put into it, the design had a lot of thought put into it, even if it totally subverted from the manga for better or for worse. It was all for worse. But the anime is still, to this day, people are talking about Trigun, because it's like your next step of anime after you learn about, like, Dragon Ball and One Piece and geez, what is it? Sub for life, down with the dubbed. There's some where I'm like, absolutely. Like, I appreciate the One Piece dub, because I really do think they're trying their hardest, but I love the Japanese language One Piece. It's so good. But that's just what I guess that's my thing, is I think a good dub does their best to translate however the character is interpreted in Japan to how it would be interpreted. Grandma Goku, well, of course Grandma Goku is 10 out of 10. Grandma Goku is, like, you can't, I cannot remember her name, but Grandma Goku. I like dubbed in some anime. Some of them are truly horrendous, though. Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, there's another one, and I think it's because most of the names and concepts are English or European, and that's Full Metal Alchemist. I have to do dubbed. Like, if I listen to the subbed on that, it pulls me out sometimes when I just hear them constantly dropping all of these English and German names, and I'm like, just, TJ, why aren't you just listening to this with English speakers? But, and I know One Piece, a lot of the names are English, like, for, or different languages. Same with JoJo. but I don't know. The culture in Full Metal is very based off of European, kinda, too. FMA Brotherhood. Sorry, I should be clarifying. FMA Brotherhood. I have feelings about the first Full Metal Alchemist. By the way, these curly, twisty horns, I don't know why I gave them to this damn thing. At every angle, I'm like, oh, now it's twisting this way. Oh, nope, I screwed that up. Now it's twisting this way. It's fine, though. It's fine. My favorite thing, probably, is just drawing these little details once I get some of the bigger ones in. See, it's happening again. Let's see. Those arms are too big. I want this thing to have a kind of one-piece monster feel. I'm making it too muscular. I want it to have these kind of like silly little... little dinky like... I always get too into details and it ends up like a dang horror drawing. Yeah, that's a lot of what the Jeff Smith emulation helped out for me, is that because his training is at like Disney for animation. I think he went to school, got an animation degree, and he worked at Disney shortly. I could be wrong on that, but his style leans towards simplicity because I'm going to be drawing these. Oh my god, that looks disgusting. Why did I do that? Oh, I love it. He's jumping in a very nonsensical way for how the bodies would work, but whatever. It's fine. It's an action comic. Sorry, I got really intense there for a second. Yeah, I like the baby hands. Like, clearly, it's a cartoonish exaggeration, but you still get the idea that if this thing were to... if you were to catch some of these hands, it would not be a good day for you. No, no. Love that little claw just like right off on the side here, just to give it that sense of space. He's dodging it. Ugh, I'm gonna screw up that Fenton right now if I just try to freehand it. See, I'm trying to show off, and I wanted to get the better lines in. But I can draw this cute little guy because I feel good about that drawing. Why I'm drawing the little... Yeah, those later, silly rabbit. Oops. And... Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, well, I have been streaming for quite some time, and I have a little bit more stuff that I need to go take care of, but I would like to thank everybody. Thank you for the raid. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate meeting new friends. Please join me. I'm sure I'm going to be doing more of these. It helps me get the work done. I appreciate it. It's just fun having people to talk about and all the artwork with. You guys are awesome. Have fun. I will see you next time. If you're new here, maybe consider a follow. That'd be awesome. Otherwise, keep on questing.